So today, we're going to dive into one of Mahayana Buddhism's most profound and influential texts, the Lotus Sutra. Now, it's a journey, for sure, filled with these incredible cosmic visions and deep philosophy. But, at its heart, it has this truly radical message about your own potential. It completely redefines what's possible for every single one of us.
Our whole journey today kicks off with a really simple question from inside the sutra itself. See, this great being, Bodhisattva Akshayamati, he asked the Buddha, hey, why is Avalokiteshvara called the hearer of the sounds of the world? It seems pretty straightforward, right? But the Buddha's answer, well, it unlocks the entire teaching.
And the first answer is it's beautiful and it's direct. He's called the hearer of the sounds of the world because he actually hears the cries of everyone who's suffering. The sutra says that if you're in danger, caught in a fire, lost at sea, facing down robbers, and you just hard-heartedly call out his name, that sound is heard, and a path to freedom opens up. It's this incredible promise of direct, compassionate help.
So what exactly is a bodhisattva? Well, to put it simply, it's a being who has all the wisdom they need to achieve nirvana, to be totally free from suffering, but they make this profound choice. They're fueled by what the text calls a great compassionate heart, and they decide to postpone their own peace to stay right here in the world and help every single being wake up. It's this ideal of just radical, selfless compassion.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The stage for our story is a place called Eagle Peak. And while, yeah, it's a real mountain in India, in the Lotus Sutra, it becomes something more. It's a metaphorical space. It really represents any place at any time where these deep teachings are understood and shared. It's like the assembly ground for awakening.
And this compassion, it's not just some passive feeling. No way. It's active, and it is incredibly skillful. Avalokiteshvara doesn't have just one fixed form. He can show up as whatever is needed in that moment. If someone can only be reached by a Buddha, boom, he appears as a Buddha. If they need to hear the teaching from a monk or a king or even just a regular person, he takes on that form. It is the ultimate expression of adaptable, intelligent compassion.
This whole idea of manifesting in infinite forms might sound really complex, but it all boils down to this profound and simple ethic from the 14th Dalai Lama. When possible, help others. When that is not possible, at least don't harm them. That right there, that's the engine driving every single action of the Bodhisattva.
So, this idea of universal salvation, of a compassion that can reach anyone, anywhere, it kind of leads to a huge philosophical question, doesn't it? If everybody can be saved, are we all just walking different paths to different places? Or is something else going on entirely? The Lotus Sutra has a pretty radical answer.
So, the common understanding before the Lotus Sutra came along was that there were three separate spiritual paths, three different vehicles to get to enlightenment. You had the path for the dedicated disciple, one for the solitary realizer who figures it out on their own, and the path of the compassionate bodhisattva. Each one was seen as leading to a different result. But the Lotus Sutra comes in and makes this game-changing claim. Those are just temporary distinctions. In reality, there is only one vehicle. And this is called the Ekayāna, or the one vehicle. This is the absolute heart of the Lotus Sutra. What it's saying is that all those other paths are really just part of this one universal path to full Buddhahood. It means that the potential for complete enlightenment isn't just for a select few. It's the inherent birthright of every single being, no exceptions.
Okay, so with that idea in place, the sutra takes us into a whole new dimension. To try and explain the reality of this one vehicle, it uses imagery that is so vast, so fantastic, that people have called it Buddhist science fiction. And these stories, they're designed to completely shatter our ordinary, limited ideas about time, space, and who we are.
So get this. The first example is a massive, precious stupa made of 7 jewels that just erupts from the earth and hangs in the air. The scale is almost impossible to imagine. The text gives dimensions that, if you took them literally, would make this thing half the diameter of our entire planet. I mean, what is the point of an image that impossibly vast?
Well, of course, this isn't a lesson in astrophysics. The stupa is a symbol. It represents our own inherent Buddha nature, our potential for enlightenment, emerging from the earth of our own lives. It rises up to show us that this potential is real, it's present, and it is way more vast than we can possibly imagine.
Now, the sutra has a name for our world, the one we all live in. It's called the Saha world, or the world of endurance. And it's called this because, let's face it, it's a place filled with suffering that we have to endure.
grief, horror, distress. It sounds pretty bleak, but this is exactly the perception the sutra is here to shatter.
And here is the absolutely stunning revelation. The Buddha declares that this Saha world, this world we see as being burned up by suffering, is actually his Pure Land, a perfect, tranquil realm. It's not destroyed, we just fail to see it for what it truly is. Our own minds project the fire, the grief, and the distress onto a reality that is fundamentally pure.
How is that even possible? Well, it's because the Buddha isn't just a historical guy who woke up 2,500 years ago. The Lotus Sutra reveals the eternal Buddha, a timeless, ongoing enlightenment that is the very nature of reality itself. It's not something that happened once, it's happening right now. We are in the Pure Land right now, in the presence of this timeless enlightenment. We just need to wake up and see it.
So, how do we do that? How do we actually wake up to this reality? To bring this huge cosmic vision down to a personal level, the sutra gives us one of its most famous parables, the story of the burning house.
The parable says we're like children playing inside a house that is on fire, and we don't even realize the danger. And you have to ask, why do we stay? Because it's familiar. We're comfortable there. Our habits, our patterns, our ordinary suffering, it's the world we know.
And this really gets to the heart of the dilemma, doesn't it? Leaving what's familiar, even if it's a source of suffering, is terrifying. The unknown feels dangerous. So the parable makes us ask, where is real freedom and safety? Is it inside the familiar inferno, or is it out there in the scary unknown beyond the door?
The answer is so clear. Freedom is in stepping outside. But here's the key. Outside isn't another place. It's a change in perception. It's waking up to the fact that the house isn't actually burning. We're already in the Pure Land. The safety we're looking for isn't about escaping to some other world. It's about seeing this one correctly for the very first time. And so, the entire Lotus Sutra just leaves us with this final, powerful question. It shifts our whole perspective from thinking about a long journey to a distant goal to an immediate awakening to what is already true. What if enlightenment isn't something you have to achieve in the future, but a reality that's just waiting to be realized, right here, right now?